So I'm going to be explaining my story in this video in the sense of like cold approaching girls. I'm going to break it down like week one, month four, and then like current. But I want you guys to understand that even though I'm going to be telling you about me getting more confident when it comes to like cold approaching girls, what I'm going to talk about is going to be applicable for anything that you do in life. So as an example, I work for myself. I now have two different coaching businesses. But if we look back when I first started my advertising agency in 2016, when I did that, I don't think I got my first client for maybe like a year, if I think, maybe even longer. But then as time went on, well, guess what? I started doing pretty good because I kept doing it. And like what I said, like pitching new clients became easier. And then when I started doing work for them, I was like, well, what the fuck am I doing? Like I've taken all these courses, but I didn't have hands-on experience with it. And then you started working with more and more. And now you're like, okay, you just wake up and you know what you're doing. Like you start internalizing what to do. So I want to use that as an example. If you're still watching the video at this point in time, just to show you that while I'm going to be explaining my process using cold approaching girls, because full transparency, when my ex-girlfriend broke up with me, that's when I started like learning and studying female dynamics and that sort of stuff. So my main channel is more like helping men become better men and understanding women so they can have better relationships. So I started doing that. Okay. Now let's look at let's just go into like week one. So before I go into that, I do want to say that there is a little bit of like psychology here involved. If you're not aware of what exposure therapy is, this is exactly what we're doing. This is how everybody becomes confident. Every fucking thing you do in life, you become confident and competent at by repeated exposure. So that's exposure therapy. You do something enough times where your brain you kind of already expect an outcome. So week one, when I had a girlfriend for over, I think it was like a year and a half with this one, and I lived with her. So at that time, like most men, I took myself out of the dating market. And I've always been good with girls, always. I lost my virginity at 15. That's when I had my first girlfriend. I'm 30 now. So I've got 15 years of experience with women. I've been with them ever since. However, when you get into a relationship, most guys, women don't, because they don't really have a choice, if I'm being honest with you. But men do. We take ourselves out of the dating market. So when she broke up with me and I was like, fuck it. I don't want to, this heartbreak sucks, blah, blah, blah. When I moved into my house now, which is actually bigger than what I lived in, I was like, I need to learn how to talk to girls because I don't want to be lonely and miserable for the rest of my life. I've always been the kind of guy that's kind of got what he wanted because I know I can put my ego aside and learn from others and do that. So if you're watching this video and there's something you want to do, if you're not afraid to get hurt and not fail but mess up a lot, then this isn't going to help you. Just a full transparency, guy or girl watching this, okay? So my first week of doing this, my first week, I was like, well, what the fuck do I do? Like, there's a lot of pretty girls that I see. I meet 99% of the girls I talk to and date at the gym. A lot of you guys think that you shouldn't do that. I beg to differ. So in this case, when I was learning how to talk to girls again, because not only was I learning how to talk to other girls, I've always been social. I've always been extroverted, but I've just filmed a video on this. I was raised stranger danger. So I am conditioned to not go up and talk to strangers. That's why I met this girl on Facebook, because I never had that. I've had dates on dating apps and Facebook, my last girlfriend on Facebook, because you don't have that in-person rejection when you message a girl on Facebook. I think I liked or hearted one of her stories and she liked mine back, and then I think I sent her a message. That's kind of how it took off. So that's why online is so much easier. But I'm like, no, I want to do it in person because I want the girl that I actually want, and I want to know what she looks like in person, and I want a good body on her. But I was like, what the fuck do I say to approach these girls? I don't know her. What do I do? So week one is I started educating myself, and I started binge watching, because if you didn't know, you will now. One of the 6 basic human needs is a need for certainty. So when you want to do anything in life that you haven't done before, when you think of the future, anxiety is formed by thinking of the future. Depression is formed by thinking of the past. So when you ruminate in the past, there's a quote, I just fucked that up, but that's what I mean. So when you don't have certainty, you're going to create anxiety, and that anxiety is going to stop you from doing something. Why? So in this case, it's when I see a girl I want to talk to, and I was taught stranger danger growing up, my brain is literally telling me, hey, it is not a good idea to go and approach that girl. That's what happens, guys. So the first week, I would even argue, and even to this day, guys, while I can go up and talk to any girl I want to at this point in time, I still hesitate from time to time. I still see girls and I'm like, my brain stops me. My brain's like, oh, now's not a good time. Do it when you're done with this set. She's over there, blah, blah, blah. Like I start overthinking, and that's basically your brain saying, don't fucking do it. But the first week is I had to educate myself. I see all these girls and I'm like, I don't even know what to say, dude. How do I go up and talk to a girl? How do I open a conversation with the girl I've never talked to? What's that whole process like? Because online, even with that girlfriend, I think we talked for like a month. So the fact that I even got her to speak to me on Facebook for a month is fucking bizarre. Because now I teach men, I'm like, dude, you want to ask for the number as soon as possible. Get that girl on a date as soon as possible. But this girl was compliant, and we were just the only two people that I guess we were talking to. So week one is I had to watch all these videos on like, what do I do? What do I say? And the problem with that is I would watch so many videos and read so many books, and I would like, okay, I've got so many different ways to do this. Which one's going to work? And I would stop myself. And then I remember probably week 2 or 3 or whatever, when I actually did it, when I wasn't like feeling depressed from heartbreak, I went and did it. And I was just like, I remember I was taught, I think it was Doc Love that taught Corey Wayne, taught me, hey, go up to a girl, hey, what's your name? And she'll tell you her name, and then you're supposed to wait for her to ask for yours in return. And if she doesn't, she probably doesn't like you. So I used to do that. I used to ask for their name, and then I started asking for their name, and then I would give them a compliment, and then it would kind of go nowhere from there. And then sometimes I would talk to them. And then over time, to what I do now and what I teach, I go up, I get their attention, give them a compliment, ask for their name, then I start the conversation if there's one to be started. That I've internalized what to do, because I've developed that confidence. I've done it enough times. I found out what works for me. But back then, like I said, 3 maybe. I remember, bro. I did it at the gym. I'm pretty sure. I went up and talked to my first girl at the gym, and I'm acting like I'm talking like I'm still a virgin, bro. I remember I talked to this girl, and I was like, I don't know if I asked that girl out or not. I don't remember. I actually don't remember. But I noticed, I was like, what the fuck, bro? That was not that bad at all. I was like, why was thinking about that so much harder than actually just going up and talking to her? Because whatever you think about is always going to be perceived as worse than like what actually happens. Like when you go and talk to this girl, most of the time I go up, hey, throw them a compliment, and they go like, thank you. And then I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. Have a good day. But the girls that like, oh my God, thank you so much. Those girls tend to, I can talk to those girls because they gave me a very good, you can gauge their responses. But for the most part, it's just like, oh, thank you so much. And like, yep, all right, see you. And then the girls that I talk to and ask out, the conversation just kind of happens. One of us blurts something out. That's what I mean. Like in the moment, could I talk to more girls if I purposely tried to start a conversation with more of them? Sure. But what I'm saying is at this point in time, this might be me justifying this, but what I've noticed just from fucking 2 years of doing this at this point in time, the girls that I talk to that I get along with the best, the conversations with them, they just happen. They just happen. They just happen. You'll start noticing that yourself in anything that you do, whether it's pitching a client and getting business, being on a sales call. Now, granted, I mean, your ability to close a sale is going to be determined based on like your skill. But when you have better skills, your results are going to be better. That's what I'm saying. So my ability to cold approach a girl and talk to her at this point in time is pretty good. But I've noticed that for the most part, when it comes to the dating aspect, conversations for the most part don't go anywhere. And maybe that's me justifying not purposely trying to start a conversation with every single girl. But quite frankly, I just don't care. So week one, that was me educating myself, and I was like, well, I was like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. And the hardest part, guys, was after I found out what I wanted to do, the hardest part was actually going and doing it. And now, mind you, I'm a 30-year-old. I was 27? I'm 30 now, 27 or 28 at that time. Let's say 28. And I'm in a wheelchair. I am fucking paralyzed, bro. So if you boys watching this think that I'm too short, I'm not rich enough, I'm not, whatever excuse you're telling yourself, dog, trust me, I got it worse, homie. Trust me. And what I've also noticed too is girls, for the most part, they're gonna like you or they're not. They're either gonna like you or they're not. The girls do not care that I'm in a wheelchair for the most part. They're either gonna like you or they're not. So if you're a short king right now, they're either gonna like you or they're not. Okay? Now, going back to this, so I had to start doing all this stuff on my own. And most guys that work with like coaches like myself, they have somebody that can keep them accountable. I'm my own accountability. My own. So I've done all this shit on my own. I've been through fucking hell and back. And I'm telling you, at week 1, 2, 3, 4, up to the first month, it sucked. Why? Because when you don't, like pitching businesses, you can get pretty good at pitching businesses by like the first 2 weeks. You see a business you want to pitch, and you're like, okay, I think I can help them. You pitch them, and you send them a message. Now, I've sent probably thousands of video pitches at this point in time, and every single time I do it, when I go to send it, I'm always like, oh man, there's always a little bit of hesitation. Oh, fuck, and I'm like, just do it. So like that hesitation never goes away. But if we look at month 1, that's when I started trying to figure out which process I like better. I started studying pickup, cold approach, neuro-linguistic programming, attachment style. Remember, I was going through a breakup at the same time, so I was heartbroken. So I wanted to learn how to get your ex back, attachment styles, the grieving process, why I want to. I can't say why I want to like, myself because of this feeling I'm getting. I got to edit that part out because YouTube might flag me for that. But I like month 1, it was like trying to figure out basically, okay, now we're kind of like, we got to go out and practice and we got to really work with this. And if you're trying to cold approach a girl, or if you're a guy and you want to get a boyfriend, that's pretty easy. Just sign up for a dating app and you'll get fucking matches left and right. Girls got it easy. But for guys, you got to go out there, bro. You're going to have more chances with girls if you fucking talk to them in person. Why? Because you don't have to rely on them swiping yes or no. They get like thousands, hundreds of matches a week, dog. So your odds of matching on, now I do pretty good on Hinge. I get a couple matches a week, I would say, and I don't pay for that. So, I'm doing pretty good there. But what I'm saying is like my output, my luck in person is much better. So if you're a dude, like the first month, you're going to be like, ooh, this still sucks. But then once month 1 comes around, you're like, okay, I think this one works. And you're still testing the waters. Like you're still experiencing new things is what I'm saying. So I might learn how to cold approach girls. I might learn how to talk to strangers. I used to go to the farmer's market every Sunday with my dog. And every Sunday when I go to the farmer's market, I used to tell myself, we are going to say hi to every single person that I see. At this point in time, I don't tell myself now. I just kind of do it. I've internalized that. But if I tell myself I'm going to talk to as many people as I can, I'll do it because I'm looking for an outcome. So like the first month of like cold approaching girls, well, that's month to month. So month 1 to month 3, you start getting more reps in, and then you start start doing different things because you haven't really internalized what to do. That's why, like I said, I've figured out a process that kind of works for me now because I've done it enough times. But when you start doing anything to become confident at anything, that first like month, I would say a couple months, depending on what you're doing, you're still like, what the fuck am I doing? Why? Because you haven't had enough. At that point in time, you don't have enough experience with all of the possible scenarios and outcomes that could happen. Like, for example, if we look at like girls, when a girl, like if a girl doesn't like you, there's a couple things that she's going to do. If you ask her for her number, she might say she has a boyfriend, whether that's true or not. She might give you the number, and then when you text her, never respond back to you. That happens to me all the time. She might give you the number, you text her, she responds back, and then disappears after a couple texts. You might text her, ask her to hang out, and then she's like, oh, I can't. Or she'll agree to hang out and then cancel. Or she'll agree to hang out and then not show up to that date. There's so many different things that you still have to experience and figure out over time. When you're talking to a girl, how do you figure out if she likes you or not? When should you ask her to hang out, or when should you ask her out, or when you're not? When should you not? I tend to ask girls out at this point in time. Like if I'm talking to a girl and I like her and we've been talking for like 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, and she's facing me directly, and she's like, she could have left at any point in time, but she's facing me, and I can tell she's talking to me. She wants to. A lot of girls will do that because they like attention, but I'm like, okay, well, you could have left at any time and you haven't. I'm like, hey, you should take my number, man. We should talk more. You're cool. And that's when you're gonna find out that I did that to a girl not too long ago, and she's like, and I ended up finding she took my number, and then we kept talking, and then I found out that she had a boyfriend. And I was like, dude, if I knew you had a boyfriend, I wouldn't have given you my number. That's not, I was like, I don't want to text a girl that's taken. I was like, I don't want to do that. And then another girl, this girl, super hot, used to come up and talk to me all the time. And then I was like, hey, I want your phone number. And I texted that girl, never heard from her, and I haven't seen her since. But she used to come up and talk to me and smile and wave at me all of the time. That women won't do that if they don't like you. But maybe I guess she thought I was like just a friend or something. So that's possible. So that's what I'm saying is like, you're month 1 through 4. Even like today, there's still stuff that happens where I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen at this point, or I can kind of expect what's going to happen. But the first like couple months, you haven't gotten that experience. So you're going to start figuring out, like, I'm going to speed this video, but you're going to start figuring out, okay, you're going to like, okay, that happened. This didn't work. This worked. I didn't like that. I went on a date with her. Didn't like that. Went on a date with her. I like her. I like that. You're going to start figuring out what you like, what to do. It's going to start becoming more familiar. And then let's just skip ahead to current, to like now. I'm at the point now where I can talk to a guy and I can hear what he's saying. And I'm like, this is what's going to happen. I guarantee it. She don't like you. She's going to disappear on you. You're going to fuck that relationship up. You better stop doing this or else. I can predict it at this point in time. But I've been doing this for 2 years at this point, right? So where I'm going with this, end the video here, guys. Like if you're trying to become confident at anything, it is not going to happen anytime soon. But remember, exposure therapy. The more you do it, the more you're going to start experiencing what's going to happen, the goods and the bads. You're going to start conditioning yourself to understand, holy shit, Mitchell's right. I start doing it, and then over time, things start happening that I wasn't expecting. But now when I keep doing it, those things that I wasn't expecting to happen, now they happen. And now I know how to act when that does happen because I've got the experience. So I'm competent at what I'm doing, which is going to make me confident at what I'm doing. So pitching businesses, running a business, coaching people, talking to girls, cold approaching girls, how to talk to them, get them on dates and hook up with them, like that stuff. I know how to do all of it because I've done it enough times. That's what's going to happen, guys. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And actually, listen, I want to offer you guys this. I don't know, depending on when I release this, it might be available, it might not. But in the description, maybe pin comments, I am offering 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching with me that I will be charging $2,000 for. However, for the first 3 people, because this is a beta offer, I'm offering you to work with me for free, where we can work on developing, better social skills, more confidence. If you have low self-esteem, how to fix that. If you've got trauma in the past, you want to work through that to meet new people. If you're looking to become a better version of you, whether that's socially, confidently, you want more relationships, more people, I can help you. That's why I have this channel, to learn to teach people how to become more social. So you get direct access to me. I don't know how to pitch this yet. You will get my personal phone number where you can text me and call me 24/7. And then we will have 1 hour accountability calls once or twice a week. I'm trying to figure out how many times I want to do this with 3 people, maybe once or twice, where I'm going to make sure you're fucking doing what we're discussing that you want to work on. So that way you get the accountability. And by the end of the 8 weeks, if you think I've helped you, all I'm asking for is a video testimonial that I can use to help promote this in the future. So if you want that, if there is a link, check it out. Otherwise, watch one of these videos right here, guys. You'll like that one as well. And hey, see you in the next one.